Everyone, we got a new box as decided by the poll on my community tab. So thank you everybody for voting and for deciding on what we're building next. The box came a little dented from Amazon, but it was also like 10 bucks cheaper to buy this on Amazon, so just gonna go with it. And hopefully I can follow the instructions right, so we don't have to worry too much about kit bashing on the initial build. Because as far as this is all concerned, there's going to be a lot of kit bashing. But I've never built this group before, so I'm excited to see how it turns out. And while we were gone, I also got a couple of, can't really see them too well from the lighting, but I got some decals off of Etsy for the Dark Krakens, so I can start adding them onto my characters later on. Alright. That's 4 bases. Am I going to be short of base? Because I thought this was for 5 characters. Jump Pack Intercessors. Oh no, there's 5. Okay, I just can't see. Alright. Oh no, do the legs come with terrain already? Oh, that is not what we want. Yeah, we're chopping off that terrain. Because the whole idea is what we're going to do for these guys is I'm going to take their jump packs, or whatever sprue that's on, and then from the jump pack backs right here, we're going to be using these tiny little beads that I bought from this Etsy place, and we're going to make lines of bubbles so that way it looks like the jump packs are coming off of the base and keeping the people up. So that's the initial idea, but first we're going to actually have to build the darn things, and it's going to take a while, especially because super gluing these beads together to make the stacks to get them attached to the bases, I'm excited, but that's going to be a daunting task in itself. So just going to have to look at the instructions so I can figure out which part goes where. All right. But yeah, no, things have been interesting lately. I'm really excited for this kit because I haven't done a whole lot of kit bashing that I've felt has been significant in how my Marines look. So I'm kind of excited to give this kit a go, just to see if the effort will be worth it, because it's going to take a while to get them all built up right. But I am excited to see how it turns out. And again, it's thanks to you guys for being on the poll to decide what kit I bought next. And thankfully you guys decided to go for a kit that had multiple people, so that way I can just get the group going. Okay. Oh man, this glue's already getting to me. But it seems to glue on just fine, so got that. Yep, we go into the Jumpy Boys. Because thankfully I've got all my stuff to get them going. I've got the glass beads that we're going to be attaching to the back of their jump packs to turn into the bubble streams, so that way they look like they're underwater. So, we got the Jumpy Boys, but we're going to make them underwater just to fit more in line with the whole ocean world that they come from in Noctis. However, that comes with its own caveats and problems. 49, 50, 55, 56. Okay. Mainly because all these things come with their own terrain that I'm going to have to shave off, because I bought... Forgive the slight mess here. But I bought my own underwater terrain to use. So that way it looks like they're actually in the ocean. So I want to use this stuff on their bases. The problem is, unless if I want to say that they're in some sort of underwater world or sunken city, which doesn't fully apply to Noctis, this random detail for their stuff does not work as well. So I gotta find a workaround. But that'll come all in due time. Anyways, how have you been, Roosh? It's been a long time since I've seen you. Mostly long because I haven't been streaming because I injured my back. So that's on me. 49.50. Ah. Oh shoot, that's fun. Dallas Open. I'll be honest, I have no idea what the Dallas Open is. I'm assuming that's some sort of... go out on a limb here and say that's a football event? Question mark? I don't really know. I'm not the best when it comes to sports. I did cross country when I was a kid, so I'm not exactly a... I kind of did the lame sports that don't really get a lot of traction or viewers. So. Oh, okay. That's exciting. So how do Warhammer events go? Because I've never been. I hope to go sometime, but I've never been in person before. Because I hear things about how Adepticon goes. I hear about how people go to tournaments or gaming events, but I've never actually had the chance to go. Ooh, custom jump captain, huh? How so? I'm curious. Ah, gotcha. Well, then that should be exciting then. Or at least I hope it will. Because all I've been to is I've been to Rose City Comic Con, and that's kind of like the only convention I've really been to. I'm hoping to go to a Ren Fair this year, but I'm just so far behind on everything I haven't really gotten. I'm not good at going to cons. Especially because I don't have a whole lot of money. Most of the spare money I have has been going to my hobby stuff. Which, not complaining because I do enjoy this hobby. But if I'm spending money on this stuff, I don't got money for tickets to go places, so yeah, it's give or take. But that's just life in general, ain't it? Mm-hmm. 55 and 56 for the legs. Let's see. Oh, that's actually close together. That makes that easy. Modern jump packs, maybe even Inceptor backpacks. 5 to 6 thrusters and at least 4 vents. Heavy intercessor for the body. Ooh, okay. Oh yeah. But when it comes to armored boys, Chonky is always cooler. That's why I've been hesitating on getting some of the other sets. Like, I want to get a set of infiltrators because I think they're cool, but infiltrators are not my go-to if I were for armor, because I'm a big fan of Terminator and Gravis armor. I think the Mark 10 Gravis is it's got a good chunk to it that I enjoy, as well as some of the other Space Marine armor kits. So, chunky is always fun. No, that is true. Especially on a captain. Yeah, Danica, Dark Krakens are kind of my favorite so far. These are kind of the most recent guys I've been working on. I haven't finished them just yet. I almost got these guys done. I had been waiting for I found some sheets on Etsy for decals because I like the decals, but I'm gonna be honest. I'm not the best with freehanding. This is my first attempt at it. But yeah, I liked the Dark Krakens. I like the color scheme, and I like the fact that they come from an ocean world. So I just figured it'd be fun. So right now, working on just kit bashing a guy up. Then once we got them all figured out, I've got some underwater terrain just to attach to the bases and glass beads. I believe that's a place. I don't quite recall. But yeah. So far, we're going to be using, once I get all the vents on the backpack, we're going to be using glass beads to put bubble streams from the vents to hold the guys up on their little bases. Because I feel like if I'm going to do it, I need to do underwater mobility packs rather than some good stuff. Want some advice on the beads? Absolutely, yes, please. I am so not used to any of this. I'm making this up as I go along, so any and all advice is very wanted. Because I am getting my bearings on this, but I am definitely not. I've never actually worked with beads. This is my first one. Thank you, Danica. Just trying to get this all figured out. Let's see. 6 and 5. Okay. We're gonna get the vents. Have I played any games yet? Not yet, just because I only got a 3 squad of aggressors and a 3 squad of eradicators. So I don't really have a full group just yet. I'm trying to build up to it so I can eventually start playing games. But so far, for my friends in the area, I've got a friend who's got some Chaos Marines, and he's been having a lot of fun with the Emperor's Children, and the Noise Marines especially. He's been having a lot of fun building that kit. And then I got a friend who's got a Knight. So I don't know of anybody who's got full-scale armies in my area just yet, but I know that since I'm doing this, I've been able to get some guys convinced so we can start doing some small squad skirmishes and fight each other that way. I've mostly, up until this year for Warhammer, I was always in the, I was reading the books, I was playing the video games, that's kind of where I was, but I never had money for the actual tabletop game. However, I figured I'll go full send and try the tabletop. Now that I know some of the lore, I know quite a bit about the factions I like and what I want to do. Clear straws and UV cure resin. Oh! That would probably help a lot more. And I almost lost a vent. That scared the crap out of me. Okay, yeah. That's going to be once I can get those materials, that is going to be a lot more efficient than what I'm doing. Because what I'm doing is not going to be that efficient. It's not a cheap hobby, but it's fun to just get minis and paint them up. I started mostly with D&D minis, like, for example, this guy. Started with D&D minis, had some fun painting them up, and decided, yeah, Warhammer allows more posing and more kit bashing opportunities, so I wanted to try it out. Especially because my friends and I are very excited to try Star Wars Legions. I know it's technically a dead game. It's not getting any new stuff for it, but it's really cool. And I got another friend who wants to try Halo Shatterpoint, so I'm going to buy a bunch of minis off of Etsy so I can get a ODST squad going. Though he and I both wish that for Shatterpoint and Legions, that we wish that they did more posing rather than just stiff models and calling it good there. Yep, that's what I heard. That's kind of why I wanted to start with Space Marines. So I think what I will want to do can be a cheap hobby, just depends on how you want to do it. 3D printing is cheap even without a printer. Yeah, I've seen a lot of stuff for 3D printing. I just don't have a printer personally. I'm saving up to get one because some of the best minis I find on Etsy are STL only, and there's certain websites dedicated to STL files. And I'd really like to get some of those because I want some better boss monsters for D&D. And if I can get better boss monsters for D&D, I can also just get some other stuff that would work better for Warhammer and other tabletop stuff. But it'll take a while to get everything going. Really? Gosh dang. I'll have to ask my public library because I have not seen or heard anything like that. But that sounds phenomenal. Ooh. I will say though, on a few of the other kits, I'm gonna have to clip these off so I can turn them around. Because these are because the way I want to kit bash these is to be mobility packs for underwater. But keeping them in this angle is just not gonna work for me. Because I kind of need them turned so that way they kind of slice through the water better. But just starting simple for now so that hopefully I can get something a bit more, so I can get an idea and a feel for the kits before I go full send on everything. Gosh dang. 1 to 2 per mini? I'm definitely gonna have to look into that because that sounds phenomenal. Most of what I buy is off of Etsy for anywhere between $5 to $10. That's for the smaller scale stuff. That's what I hope to do soon, Danica. Because I definitely want to get back into the habit of making more actual videos and not just streams. Just so far, streaming is all I can really do right now, for now. But eventually, I'll be able to get some showcases done. My goal right now is I want to get a bunch of minis done, and then on June, I'll do a showcase of all the minis I've done, while getting a few other stuff figured out. Ton of free files, even someone my manufacturing their tutorials on how to reap files easily before. Perfect. I am gonna have to look into those because I would love that. I especially need just some new monster minis. Because so far, the newest monster mini I have right now is the Umber Hulk, which I've been having fun painting him up and experimenting with speed paint, but I need to redo this because the speed paint is just not evenly coating on the rest of his carapace. And I am a little too much of a perfectionist to let there be splotches on there. Oh, come on now. Okay. But yeah. Really? I mean, I can understand why, especially with how the scaling is. It's a little weird to go with to mix Firstborn and Primaris stuff. Because the kits are fine, but there's definitely a scale difference. Especially with all the newer stuff. Because I think right now my biggest thing is I need to get new bits just because I want to find some upgraded bits for Dark Krakens that are slightly different. Because so far the only upgrade bits I found that I really liked were mostly stuff for the Space Sharks, which I wouldn't mind trying to make some Space Shark stuff, but trying to focus on my main army for now before I start getting extra stuff out. Just nice way. Okay. Okay. There, I need to figure out what kind of weapons I'm giving this guy. I feel like a plasma pistol would be good for the weapon. Then I think since most of my stuff is going to be, these guys are all supposed to be underwater, I don't know if I want to do chain swords. I know I'm definitely doing the power swords, but... Oh, that'd be perfect. Thank you, Roosh. But I think... Yeah. This is going to be interesting. Just because having people underwater and then trying to do some of this, I definitely need... I might take the Power Fist. Because I might take the Power Fist on one of the offhands to make it work better. But it's going to be a lot of bolt pistols and plasma pistols, I think. Let's see. All right. That's 54. Okay. Just gonna make some careful cuts so I don't put too many holes in the mini. Let's see. I also need to save up some cash so I can get a mold line remover, because goodness gracious, I need to remove it, but I'm not the best with getting all of it off. Like, the raised areas are easy, but some of these areas at the tips of the gun are definitely a lot harder to remove it all on. I've also seen a lot of people talk about drill bits, just hand drills to get through the gun barrels. Because so far, normally what I've been doing is just been sticking my knife in and just twisting it, which isn't exactly the most... It's not exactly the best way to get it done. Multiple we got with my combat patrol stuff. I can send you one and some stuff to help out. I mean, maybe. I'll say, because definitely with the STL files, I'm definitely going to have fun checking those out. Because I got another friend who's looking at building some stuff. And I'd like to get him a few. Then I think this might be a good angle, just to keep it low. But then, oh gosh, now comes my worst nightmare. Do I want to use milliput to push the arm forward just a little bit? Honestly, I've used so much milliput that I think I'm gonna play it safe this time. I know playing it safe isn't always the best, but I gotta fight these guys. When I start going heavier into kit bashing, I can start with getting the other guys posed in a more pleasing way. I think for now I'm just gonna try to keep it simple. Assuming I don't glue everything to my fingers and just rip them mini to shreds. Well, hello, Lewis. Thank you for dropping by, and thank you. I wish you luck on all of your stuff, because definitely a lot of fun. And I respect the Ultramarines, because from a lore standpoint, I do like the Ultramarines. They may not be my favorite color scheme, which is kind of why I'm going with Dark Krakens, but Ultramarines are cool. I do like them. So I wish you luck, man, especially on the painting part. But I assume you've probably been at this much longer and got more experience than I do, so I think you got this. Though I am excited to know how they turn out. So take care, and I wish you luck on that. Because I know these guys are definitely not easy, but absolutely worth it when you get the details done just right. All right. Let's grab the other arm. I will say, I understand why they built the kits this way. I kind of wish there were more right arms with guns as well. Because I'd rather take two guys with guns or one guy, or like one guy with a bolt, or like a bolter as a rifle, rather than like one guy with a handheld and one guy with a sword. Like just one in each hand, I understand the versatility, but having something a bit heavier on impact would help. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to steal some arms from my Eradicator box, so that way I can have something on the offhand. Because with these guys being underwater, I don't really want to give them just, like, I don't want to give them chain swords. Because chain swords are cool, but they wouldn't be the most effective things underwater. Let's see. Okay. I think I want to keep it down just to give it some feeling of motion like he's going up. Because my idea is once I get the beads for his like stand, I want to have him kind of facing forward as if he's just running to the assault. My question now is, do I want to have this guy with his sword forward as if he's charging? You know, because this down, it's really cool. I think I'm going to have his arm up and charging like that. All good. Nice to see you, man. Blade guards, though. I have not tried Blade Guard Veterans. They look interesting, though. How is that kit? Because this is my third kit I'm ever having that I've ever purchased with these guys, so I'm very much new to the model side of the hobby. Think like that. Yeah. And yet, charging is just really cool, especially because the angle I want once I get the mini down is back. They always package the bases so weird. But what I want to do for the bases, so when I have the glass beads up, I'm going to put them in the back of his mobility pack. I kind of want him at this kind of an angle. I'm going to have the thing going up and forward in an arc, just to show that he kind of just instantly went up and over. That's what I'm hoping for, at least, but we'll see how that turns out. They're nice putting together. Glue set, not a push fit, so easy to get poses you want. Tons of options. Look awesome, lots of details. It'll be fun. Oh yeah, painting is always fun. It always depends on the color scheme for whatever faction you got. But yeah, I can see that. What kind of faction did you build your Blade Guard for? Yeah, we're going with the Sergeant helmet. If I'm gonna have a guy leading the charge, I gotta give him the skull helm. Just because it's too good to just not have somebody leading the charge not have the right helmet. So I'm gonna set a little in here. Then there we go. Okay. Imperial Fist, I can respect. My favorite faction of all time are the Iron Warriors, but I can always respect the Imperial Fists. You guys got the right idea. Emperor's Whisper, yellow armor with purple shoulders. Ooh, I'm a sucker for yellow and purple color schemes. Purple is my favorite color, so I like the idea. I like how that's going. Gonna get some shoulder pads. 10 Cadians with the tan, blue, gray, and yellow helmet vibe. Okay, yeah. Like it. I kind of want to get... I want to modify some Kriegers, just because there's not much outside of Cadians and Krieg for a lot of the normal Astra Militarum. But I want to kit bash some of the Imperial Guard so that they... Because these guys come from a water world. I want to have the water world stuff be a motif. Just going to take a little bit to get it all done. Oh, I like it. I like it. A little bit of loyalty within the last few survivors. And since they survived the Tyranids, they have a bit more experience with how to fight them effectively. I like it. Oh, stop it. There we go. Honestly, I can only imagine. Dreadnoughts look like a super fun kit to build and paint, so I'm excited to eventually get a Dreadnought for my army. It's going to take me a long time because I want to I'll focus on getting my paint scheme figured out. Because recently, first attempt with black armor didn't go too well, in my opinion, just because everything turned out super black. I got a speed paint that definitely shows more of the blue highlights under it, so it's not full black. And so I'm trying to figure out how to get the black armor done right. And I also just bought a very large kit of purple from Vallejo, so that way I can experiment with different purples to see what kind of purple I want on the shoulders. Because, don't get me wrong, I've been using Phoenician purple, and I like Phoenician purple for the Dark Krakens, but you need to have really good light for the purple to show up as well on these guys. So I kind of want to see if there's a different purple color I like more. Oh, from Leviathan, okay. Corvus Blackstar. Okay. It does pop well. I'm trying to find like some highlights so that way I can make the purple pop a bit more. Just because on these guys, like the purple's good, but I want to get some highlights on the purple on the raised edges so that way it pops a bit more. Because so far my purple is just Phoenician purple, and I really want to get something else on there. Let's see. Then approximately we're going to have this guy at about that angle. Okay. Okay, I like it so far. So that's gonna be... Well, I should probably find some extra details to glue onto them. Gotta be something I have, right? Let's see. Ammo pouches are always good. I think I'm gonna grab this one. Black Star base. Chapter recruits with black shields, giving Dishonor Marines a second chance if they are not sent away due to corruption, but their chapter won't have them back. Oh, okay, I like it. Extra bit of redemption at the cost of... Okay, I like it. Yeah. Oh no. Stick it to my finger. Stop. Okay. That's much better. Afraid that was just to be stuck to my finger first. Hey, no worries, man. I used to teach English to people who didn't speak English, so if I can understand what you're saying, you're fine. Because sometimes autocorrect on phones does not like people. Other times, let's be real, a lot of the words used with Warhammer lingo and vocabulary, that's not common, especially not the spelling, much as I love it. I try to stream as often as I can. The problem is I've got a chaotic work schedule normally. I'm trying to, don't let my boss know, but I am trying to find a new job that has more consistent days and hours. Because right now I do 4 days on, 2 days off at my job that I like, but it just doesn't leave me to have a consistent schedule, and I'd really like to have a consistent schedule just to do this more often, because I find building and painting my models to be very therapeutic and it helps me relieve stress. It's not very therapeutic if you know that there's something you want to do and you can't do it on a semi-consistent basis. Especially because I also have to, along with this, I'm trying to work on some review videos for my channel because I like doing long-form content. But I also have to work on, I'm building like 3 different D&D campaigns for different reasons and settings. And so, between that and trying to go back to school, I'm definitely encumbered with trying to figure out what I want to do and how I want to compartmentalize and use my time wisely. It's a little hard, but I gotta manage it somehow. Yeah, typically I also just got better because I injured my back about a week ago. But yeah, I try to stream about 2 times a week minimum, sometimes 3 depending on how I feel after work. Trying to find out a little stream to chill while painting deaf, giving some. Thank you. Fell painting clears the head, but when you got BS problems, yeah, life just hits you, and when life hits you, you just gotta adapt and overcome. However, adapting and overcoming is never easy. If adaptation was easy, a lot of animals would still be alive today. That's just how things go. But yeah, no, I try to stream as often as I can. So if I see you around, always excited to see you. Because I definitely like hearing how people kit bash their armies and how they... And honestly, you guys have been so helpful with giving me advice and links. Like Roosh, I've been seeing my chat with him on Instagram pop off on links that I can investigate, and I'm very excited to check those out. So thank you again, man. Because I'm definitely new to the hobby, trying to figure things out, get my head wrapped around things on the tabletop side of things. Because I've been playing the games and I've been reading the books for a while, but definitely want to do more with the actual models and the minis. But it also takes a while to get a handle on all of that. Okay. Move this sprue set over here. I need to grab my other sprues. Oh, hey, the centaur. I forgot about that. That's not going to help right now, but I can move that over here. I need to also clean and reorganize my paint desk because my desk is overflowing with bits that I just need to rework and fix. Let's see, do I have any empty space on this guy I can throw in? Over there. Yeah? That's exciting to hear. Definitely makes me feel a bit more confident about my choice to get into it. Okay. Let's say, I think I've used up all of the free space I got on this guy, so I think I'm going to call this one good. So we're going to start with the next guy. Because on my spruce sets, I know I've got extra arms from my eradicators. So left arm, left arm. And I know I had some right arms on that kit. Ain't no way. Guys with helmets on or faces showing for your Marines. Personally, I am much more of a helmet on kind of guy. I like how the Marines look without helmets, but I can trace it back to my Iron Warrior tendency of there is extra armor to wear. Wear the armor. Keep yourself protected from everything. And so I prefer guys with with helmets on for their armor. But that is just a me preference, because I think helmets can look cool when done right. I'm sure it depends on the helmet in question, because not all helmets are made the same. Thank you. Yeah, especially because I've got myself in a bit of a corner with these particular models, because the whole idea with them is they're going to be underwater, like Marines who are fighting in the oceans. So these are just modified mobility packs for under the water. And so it would make very little sense to have only part of the helmet covered when you're underwater, just because of the pressure and the depths. Nice mix, I think, having most with. A couple without looks pretty good from a personal owner. Oh yeah, no, that's very fair. Hey, Zach. Yeah, because, like, for example, with these guys, I could probably get away with doing, like, some no helmets, because I got them kind of situated on cliff sides to be above the water. But my Jump Pack Intercessors are all going to be guys who are under the water, so definitely going to be focusing more on helmets with these guys for now. Also, I just don't have good face colors. I don't like what I have so far. Yeah, let's see. No worries, Zach. I haven't really been streaming all that much, all that often, so it's kind of hard to be late because I didn't even make a waiting room for this stream. I need to start making waiting rooms again because I used to do it much more frequently. Just have not been doing that. I really should, just because it does give people a heads up whenever I'm about to go live. Also, feel like I'm going insane because I thought I had more sprues than this. Oh yeah. I'm excited to get the color scheme out because I think it will look good. At least I hope it does. But it definitely will take a while to perfect it so I can get it to the right color mix. Because, like, attempt 1 for black armor versus attempt 2, definitely a little bit better by using a speed paint over the armor. But the first speed paint I used was this Grim Black. I think what I want to use is I'm going to try an Occultist Cloak on these guys just to see if the speed paint will look any better. Because what I normally do is I use a... Where is that pot? No, I've got it somewhere. Ah, here it is. Normally what I've been doing is I've been... so there's a YouTuber called Juan Hidalgo Miniatures, and he uploaded basically a very little effort black armor, where you do a dry brushing of Fenrisian gray, and then you do speed paint on top of it, just that we've got like the blue-gray undertones for the highlights, but then you've got the black over the top of it. So that's what I'm hoping to do, is just have a little bit of that Fenrisian gray just to help me out, to see how that goes. Okay. Yeah, I hear a lot of good things about Fenrisian Grey, and I'm not surprised, because I even used Fenrisian Grey as a dusting for the rocks, because I did a Xandri dust for the base coat, and then I tried to dry brush the Fenrisian Grey on the rocks, and I like how it popped. So I think that Fenrisian Grey is a really good rock color, and I definitely enjoy it for my bases. So I think it's good for rocks. I think it's really good for under black armor highlights. I've been using it quite a bit recently to a lot of success, and so I'm very excited to see how much more I can use it for. Yep. Okay, Teach. I ain't a teacher anymore. You know that. I stopped teaching years and years ago. Not necessarily because I hate it, but because I'm just... Getting a teaching license in the US is a lot harder than getting a teaching license in Mexico. I will say that much. Ah. I figured. I'm just giving you a hard time, Zach. I am nothing but sass. So, thank goodness I took a look for my through my Eradicator set, because that's going to be a good arm to throw on. I think that'll actually... Doing a little bit of some silver, like some darkened silver with the purple, might actually do a good highlight on getting some contrast on that. So, I'm excited. Oh, I figured, man. Sass is encouraged just because sass shows you're actually having fun. And if I can dish it up and not take it, then I'm not exactly going to be a king of sass, which was my title for quite a while, and I would like to hold on to it. I don't get too many titles in this life. And Audacious one is cool. Yeah, I forgot this mechanical arm was in the Eradicator set, so I'm very excited to steal this guy off the bit. However, my main issue is, as I've been combing through the Eradicator kit, I'm noticing a lot of the right hands and the right arms don't have hands. which is admittedly a little difficult to kit bash with if I don't have hands to work with on the right arms. And I don't know how well the right arms are going to look if I try using the heavier weapons on these guys. Because I would like to think that I could get away with throwing a melt-a-gun onto one of my intercessors. Just because death from above with this thing is kind of intimidating, but we shall see. First, I need to actually finish cutting out the body so I can get him modeled on right. And not throw my dragon chicken around. Throwing the dragon chicken is not the most advisable thing I could do. So you see 30, 35, where's that sprue? Yeah, that's what that's all I'm looking at. Because I definitely want to see if I can throw a melt-a-gun into the hands of one of these guys. Just because if I can get the pose right of getting a melt-a-gun forward as one guy's charging or just dodging, I think that would look really good. A lot of guns have hands if you find one that works for melee weapon with a hand on it. Yeah. Yeah. Getting the right kit bash is definitely... It's a fun challenge, but it's definitely a challenge nonetheless. Never let it be said that it's easy to do. Hands especially. As an artist, I've spent years drawing and painting hands, and gosh dang, hands have never been my friend, and I will never call them my friend. They're needed, they're very good, but yeah, that's not an easy thing to work with. And then 30. I will say though, once I'm able to actually get a camera for my computer, I'm excited to be able to stream on my actual computer, because having some music would be nice whenever I do this, just to fill the void, because right now I just don't really have a lot going on. And there's too many thoughts in my head, and they are starting to drive me crazy. Thank you, Zach, but don't pressure yourself too much now. Just watch them when you can. We all got lives we gotta live, and we all got things we gotta take care of. Oh yeah, the hands are super rough. Especially, I will say, this guy was my first attempt at kit bashing because I made a mistake on the arms. Because what I didn't realize is with Eradicators, you can just straight up, the bodies don't match all the arms for the guns. And so I used a bunch of milliput here and right in there to get his arms to kind of hold the gun in place correctly. That is a mistake I made, and I hope to never make it again. Because I feel bad. Because for the most part, you can't really tell that there's too much, unless if I tell you that there's a bunch of milliput down there, you're not going to look for it. But yeah, if you don't get the hands 100% right, it's so noticeable. And it's just a source of nonstop anxiety. But yeah, so far the thing I definitely want is, I want to get a lot more bits, but I want to get a lot more of the, I just need to get arms, I think. Just because different bodies, different poses, different arms. Kind of want to have just a assortment of arms, because so far legs, I don't really care too much for these guys. Well, especially the intercessors. The legs aren't too much of a concern for me. But getting the right arms and having the right weapons on the team is definitely something that I want to make sure I can do right. But I don't know. I'm just excited that I was able to afford all this, because for those who were there on my last stream, you guys will know that I was nerding out a little bit because I got a bunch of new Magic cards in the mail. I got a box for the Dragons of Tarkir expansion, and for my favorite, for Bloomborough, I got another pack, because I am building a lot of decks for Magic right now. A friend got me back into the Magic scene last year, and I've been hooked, because I forgot how much fun it is to play, and unlike Pokemon, it doesn't have that bad a power creep problem. Really? Good to know. Thank you, Roosh. I'm going to have to look into that. Honestly, Magic is fun, but it's definitely a difficult card game to get into, unless if you start with the app. Because if you start with the online app, you can get a bunch of free cards, you just play your daily quests, and you can build a very easy deck without spending a lot of money. Whereas in the real world, it takes a lot of money to build a deck, because I've got a friend who's been playing for over 11 years, so he's got some phenomenal decks that I just can't compete with. I've got a Leviathan deck that I've been building off of AC. He's a landfall serpent commander, but I just have serpents, krakens, and leviathans as the focus on that deck. But that's not an easy deck to build, because leviathans can be kind of expensive. Not dragon expensive, but fairly expensive. And then I've also been building a Charix Voltron deck, which is a giant crab, and I give him a bunch of weapons. I've got a bunch of card art that, once I order the custom card art, I can show you guys when it arrives. But I just photoshopped a meme onto a blank template, where it's a picture of the crab that says, "Mess with the crabo, get the stabbo." Because yeah, I tried getting back into the Pokemon TCG last year. I really don't like how the Pokemon TCG has been, though. It's got like, Pokemon has had insane power creep since I was a kid, and I was getting the sets during 2005 was the earliest set I ever got. And most of the cards from the 2005 set are just useless in modern Pokemon today. It just had such massive power creep that I just don't want to play. But I especially didn't like the meta last year when I tried getting back into it with the Terra, like the Terra types. I'm just not the biggest fan of in Pokemon TCG, just because the meta last year was you had a fire type deck based on Terra Charizard. So you would get, and introducing the rare candy item, I've never been a big fan of, because the rare candy item lets you evolve a stage 1 card to like a basic card into its final stage card. And that kind of sucks, because somebody just goes from having a Charmander into a Charizard on turn 3. And then at the time, I was building a Psychic type deck. And so Fire type shouldn't be a problem. Except the Charizard was a Dark type. And so then you get Fire and Dark type as coverage, and you're basically destroying the meta. And I just don't like Charizard that much to play that meta. I didn't like a lot of the cards, and I just didn't bother continuing. I know a couple of people who have, but I liked Pokemon TCG when it was a lot more simple and the cards weren't insane. Now that you have cards with almost 300 health, where back in the day, Articuno had 90 health and it was a legendary. Nowadays, you have basic Pokemon with 90 health or sometimes even 110. It's just had such massive power creep that it's definitely kept me at bay. I bought a couple of card packs because I wanted to get a few decks, and I want to recreate my deck that I had on the app before it deleted my account. Because I logged in with my account last year. The app has gone through so many updates, and the available cards have changed that my account was just essentially reset. And I really didn't want to do that. Because I had a good water-themed deck where I just based it around Lapras. Because Lapras had a base 60 attack that for the more water energies you threw on him, he would do an extra 20 damage. So he wasn't that strong, but if you ramped him up right, you would be able to clear some fights even against the legendaries and some crazy stuff. But I couldn't rebuild the deck that I had in the current TCG online system, and I just didn't want to really. I just didn't like the new meta, so I just haven't played. I'm still going to collect the cards from time to time because I do like Pokemon cards, but I'm definitely not keeping up with the meta. Just not for me. Pokemon lover, eh? I've definitely sold my soul to the Pokemon Company. It's not a good thing, especially with how horrible Game Freak's decisions are with how they're actually handling the game. Because gosh dang it, Game Freak needs to stop releasing games that are such bad quality. I love Pokemon, but gosh dang it, it's hard to defend some of the Pokemon stuff that's been coming out in the past few years. But that's why I've been working with a couple of my friends, because I'm building an entire Pokemon campaign for D&D. Just because we wanted something that's a little bit more fun and exciting to run. And so far things have been working out well, but I still got a long ways to go before I get everything done. Because the main issue with D&D is I enjoy the campaign I'm playing with my friends. Like, one of my friends is running a pre-made game from 2nd edition, which has been fun. I've liked that one a lot. But then I've been running a pure homebrew game that's in a Wild West setting, and it's been chaos. I like the look in Pokemon, but won't commit to collecting again. Yeah, no. That is fully fair, Dom. I get you. I feel like the draw of Pokemon, for the most part, for most people, is just nostalgia at this point. Because we all like the look of some Pokemon. We've all got a favorite, especially if you grew up with the Pokemon anime or playing the games, reading the manga. You've encountered some favorite Pokemon that you just want. And yet, Pokemon TCG definitely doesn't have a whole lot of variety with good cards. And I haven't even seen the online meta or content creators doing Pokemon TCG, because I've just never wanted to get into that. Just always seemed like it would probably be a bad idea. Honestly, I do like Klefki's design. I can definitely say there's some designs in Pokemon I do not jive with and that I don't like, but I will defend Klefki because I think it makes perfect sense, and I think it's cute enough that it has its own merits. Won't be my favorite, but that's because my favorite Pokemon is Sableye, as evidenced by the one that's in my profile picture and the fact that I've got a Sableye pin in the back here. Sableye is my all-time favorite. My favorite typing, though, is Poison type. I like Klefki. I think it's cute. And I don't see a problem with Klefki at all. Now, I mean, I wish Klefki had a evolution, because I think that would have been really good, but there's only so much we can really do. Honestly, that's how your favorite Pokemon and like people's favorite Pokemon should go. Some people just have a favorite just because they do. Because I could not for the life of me tell you why I think Swalot is such a fun Pokemon, except the fact that I love Swalot's goofy mouth and the gimmick behind it just being a very big Pokemon. Yeah, like Klefki evolving into a Lock I think would be kind of cool. Or just giving him some haunted looking keys. Because skeleton keys exist. I feel like there should be like a key evolution that he has. Like, Klefki should get something. Thank you kindly, Eric. I appreciate it. Hopefully I'm able to impress and do right with my building with the armies. But thank you kindly for stopping in, and take care, man. I'll see you later whenever I see you next. But yeah, no, I absolutely believe Klefki deserves something in the community. Because Klefki is a really good design. If any design for Pokemon I think should get trashed on, I will say Garbodor I do not like. I love Poison-type Pokemon. I think Trubbish is cute in its own way. I can't defend Garbodor at all. I've tried so many times to like his design, but Garbodor just isn't visually interesting as far as the design goes. And that's probably a hot take because I know a lot of people seem to like Garbodor. Evolution idea. He loses the ring and becomes a bigger sentient key. With smaller keys, he uses weapons. I like that, actually, yeah. I can see that working well. If executed well, I think that would be a really good design that would hit with a lot of fans. Of course, the caveat being if executed well. Because as funny as Dunsparce was, Dunsparce deserved a better evolution than what the Dunsparce gave him. But that's always going to be a hot topic anywhere we go with that. Yeah. Most designs could easily be goofed. Because again, Trubbish, super cute. I like his design. Do not like Garbodor at all. Or Garbodor, however you pronounce his name. Just not a fan. But it all comes down to personal taste. There's definitely designs that are always hit or miss, and they're always going to be divisive among the community. Gen 8 starters have now kind of started to grow on me to an extent. Like, I don't like Inteleon that much, even though I like Sobble. I think Sobble was cute. I just didn't like Inteleon that much. But I also don't like using starters that much, so I kind of boxed Inteleon when I played Gen 8. Alright, take care, Zach. I'll see you later. Yeah, Trubbish is cute. I will defend Trubbish. I don't like his evolution. I think his evolution could have been a lot better. legs, 33, 34. But yeah, no. As far as Pokemon goes, there's definitely things to criticize, but there's a lot of things that I do love about it. I just wish that they spent some time doing games that were interesting. Like, I'm okay if Nintendo steals this idea from me, because it's one I would love to work on for them. If not, then if somebody else would do it, I'll take it. But for those who remember the fifth Pokemon movie, play mini games or just build paint 40k as now. For 40k, I have the Sisters of Battle VR game is what I first started with for video games, and I have Rogue Trader. My computer can't run Space Marine 2 or else I have that and Space Marine 1. But so far I've done a lot of Rogue... Gosh, I played a lot of Rogue Trader. And then I have a lot of time in the Battle Sister VR game. I spent a lot of time with those games. I like them a lot. But yeah, for Pokemon, a game that I'd love to see is based on the opening of the fifth Pokemon movie. For those who remember of when they had the tabletop with their minis. No, I haven't had a lot of playing with tabletop yet. I've got a couple of friends who have got a handful of models, but you can kind of see in the back for the models I have right now for my army. I've only got 3 Eradicators and 3 Aggressors. And so I haven't been able to play a game as a squad yet, but I'm hoping with this I can measure up to my friends. Because I got a friend who's got a lot of Chaos Marines, and he's got a bunch of the Noise Marines that he's been kit bashing and building. And then I got another friend who's just got a Knight model. I think he's got the Knight Cerastus, I believe. So hopefully with a couple of guys getting this box finished up and getting those guys painted up, I should be able to start playing a few games. Probably not anything too big, but I'll be able to play a few things from here or there. Because I know one of my friends has a lot of models, and he's got a full army, but I don't know what army he has. So I have to double check with him once I got a few more models built up so I can challenge him right. Well, welcome back, Zach. Yeah. Oh, that's going to be difficult to cut. You know what? That's fair. As far as things go, I kind of understand it because I watched there's a YouTube channel called Play On where they do like 40k in 40 minutes where they just explain like, hey, here's a game we played in 40 minutes, here's how it went. But they kind of give like a battle report kind of video where they talk about like the roles, how things went, and they kind of show how the game goes. So I've watched them, and that's kind of my extent on knowledge for how the game is played. I haven't personally played it yet, but I hope to soon because I know I got a lot of friends who have models. We just don't play yet because we all have small groups. Yeah, I do like Play On just because 40k in 40 minutes is very fun. I like the announcers, I like the production, and I like how they talk about things. I wish that they would use more than just the official terrain setups, though. But again, they're doing what they can, and I do enjoy what I see. But I don't know, maybe it's just the set designer in me. But I'd love to see more of some different style of terrains because it feels like they've got like 2 or 3 different boards that they play on, and that's really it for their stuff. So I like it, but I also know that 40k apparently has like special rules for certain terrains that you can use, and I am not the biggest fan of that idea because I feel like if you can do a war game, you should be able to customize the actual table a bit more. Yeah, because again, They do fairly well, but I also follow Eons of Battle for his building and painting videos. And Eons of Battle for his Patreon stuff has some amazing terrain kits that I would love to see people like in the community use. Because let's be real, if you know of a few people, you probably know of just you don't know just one Warhammer YouTuber. You're probably aware of at least 5 or 6 if you're really in depth on all this. Especially with how much they kind of work together on videos and collaborations, or in the case of Play On, where they get other Warhammer YouTubers to join them and play them on the tabletop. That's like, yeah, we kind of know other people. I know Eons of Battle. I love watching his stuff because he does it. He explains his process on how he builds things. That definitely helped me with figuring out how I wanted to go about making my miniatures and how to paint. Like my original wet palette, because I bought a palette recently. My wet palette was his design of, you take paper towel, a thing of parchment paper, get it all soaked, and you use that as a wet palette. And that is my grandmother's plate that I inherited after she passed away. It's not the best, but it's definitely what I had at the time, and I enjoyed using it. But I like his stuff a lot. It's very concise, and it helps with just figuring out how I want to go about things. Yeah, no, his Space Volko stuff was really good. I wanted to get his Corpse Starch factory because I think that was a really fun build that he did. And painting on old tin, yeah. I had a little bit of extra cash when I was splurging recently, and so I used that to get a new palette with some new brushes. Let me grab a tin. Because basically, if I can get this off right, one side has a bunch of new brushes that I'm excited to use, especially for the dry brushes, because I don't have a lot of good dry brushes. Then, so cooperate. Then I got the other side that I can use a wet palette for one side, and then I can just use a dry palette here. That it's going to help with keeping my table a bit more organized. I don't have any brush soap yet. I've normally just been doing what I do for normal washing and rinsing. I should get some though, because brush soap would definitely help. Yeah? Do you got a brand or a type that you would recommend overall that I can check out? Because I will happily take a look. Ooh, that is something I'll definitely need to look into then, because I definitely want to fix the tips on my paintbrushes. .33 and then 34 on the other leg. Yeah. Generic paint store stuff. Def helps for the first 2 months I don't, but since I haven't looked back. Yeah, good to know. I'll have to... I got some cash, so I should definitely go and just grab a bottle. Because the only thing Because I definitely need to get something to take... I need to take better care of my brushes and look into that, because I did not grow up painting whatsoever. I was a sketch artist. I would do black and white pencil sketches on everything, and that's how I did my art. So brushes is a whole new world for me. It's been a fun world to explore. I do enjoy actually painting with paintbrushes on models, not so much on canvas. But yeah, I should definitely learn to take care of my stuff a bit better. I'm already spending a bunch of money on it. Might as well maintain it in a somewhat decent look. But yeah. But yeah, I'll definitely check that out. Thank you, Dom. Because I am learning as I go. Because I didn't really have anybody guide me to Warhammer. I just kind of, in 2020 is really when I discovered it. And I spent a lot of time watching lore videos to kind of get a grasp on everything. Because growing up, I was a Star Wars fanatic. I spent a lot of time as a kid going to a nearby library, and I would just check out and read all of the Star Wars EU books. I especially loved the spy series set in the Old Republic era. I don't even remember the main character's name, but he was a cyborg. And I absolutely love that. Ulta has their own brand, and it works well. Good to know. There's an Ulta store nearby that I go with, that I have gone to before. You know what? That's fair. The more expensive the brush, the more terrifying it is to have it get ruined or messed up. So I definitely understand that. But good to know about Ulta, because I've definitely shopped there a few times. We don't know. I mean, for one of them, I'm not the most excited to admit, but I will say that for Ulta, I did buy makeup from there, not for my girlfriend, but for myself, because I was doing a joke Halloween costume. I'm pretty sure I still have just about all the components I need to, actually, because I haven't used the makeup since that one day, but I'm certain I'd be able to use it again. Oh, come on. Da, 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 da. Okay. So yeah, since I only have one power sword and I used it on the charging guy, we're gonna go with a chain sword on this guy's offhand, because I don't have a lot of options. I thought I had more blank Eradicator arms that had the right hand. No, for some reason, I thought you were making a confession of Sun Canada without makeup at first. I did it because there is a joke costume meme going around. Nah, not that crazy. But there is a joke a few years back. There's a meme that my friends and I found where it was it was called the Salty Bitch costume, where basically you dress up like the Morton Salt girl from the brand Morton Salt. So the little girl with the white parasol, the yellow dress. And so for Halloween that year, as a joke, I was a salty bitch. And so had a lot of fun with my friends as I just walked around strutting my stuff and wearing a dress better than some of my female friends. However, that was one joke, and I don't plan to repeat it anytime soon. But yeah, I definitely, I commit to the bit when it comes to dumb stuff like that. My ex at the time also thought it was funny, so she was full in support of it. Because at the time she wasn't my ex, but that's... Y'all know what I mean. My then girlfriend thought it was funny. Ah, good to know about the thinning the nail polish. I think it'd be funny to steal a few of my friends' nail polish things. Beauty supplies have great files and tweezers. Honestly, it makes sense. I can see the files coming in clutch. Nail files definitely would work well. Microset and Microsol. Huh. I'm gonna have to invest in some of that too. Because I definitely don't have any of that. I was just going with what my Gundam buddies taught me, and I'm just gonna soak everything in water to transfer it over. Makeup sponge wedges, that? Well, thank goodness I've got a giant bag of those. That will come in handy later then. I'm glad for the heads up on the Q-tip, because I was absolutely planning on using a Q-tip on my first transfers. So that's saving me from a headache. Thank you, Roosh. Oh gosh. Answering questions before I even have them. Gosh dang, man. You're saving me more than I can ever thank you for. Yeah, decals have been intimidating. I'm excited to learn how to use them, but I will fully admit they are the most intimidating things. However, I do feel more excited to try them out since I bought my custom decals. Because I've definitely got a lot of stuff to choose from, so I'm excited to throw these guys on. Especially because there is no way in hell I can freehand something that detailed that well. That ain't happening. That's fair though, Dom. That's still a lot more than I do. And I hear it carries over. One thing that I do want to get is I want to get some Gundam kits. I've been eyeing a few from IBO because that's kind of... that was the first series I fully watched, and I really liked how the kits look. I know IBO's kind of... custom decals I got from Etsy. I need to find... Once I'm done streaming, I'll look up the store on Etsy and I'll name drop them in a pinned comment. But yeah, I just found the decals on Etsy. I was kind of looking because in a different stream, another guy who was in chat, gosh dang it. I'm trying to remember his name. If I looked it up, I could find it in that chat. But it's been about 2-ish months, I think. But there's somebody else who built Dark Krakens for his family. I think his daughter. They built a Dark Kraken's army together. And he said that a lot of good places to get custom decals for different armies was on Etsy, which is also where a bunch of custom bits were. And that's kind of where I got I ordered some custom bits. They haven't arrived yet, but they're a bunch of Space Sharks bits that I'm going to use for Dark Krakens just because it's both water motifs. Ah, gotcha. Yeah, for Etsy, I just put Dark Krakens because that one was pretty easy, and I found some transfer sheets and some other upgrade bits. You get more salamander stuff, but you can find some good upgrade bits on Etsy. I do highly recommend it. Etsy's also where I get a lot of my other minis because I don't like the official D&D stuff from Hasbro. Like Snow Blight, just evil Snow White with a great sword and a poison apple in her hand. This is such a cool mini, and I found that on Etsy. Probably my favorite mermaid mini, and it cost me like I think $7 on Etsy. Also, better Umber Hulk than I've seen, because I can't even find any good official Umber Hulk stuff on the official D&D mini catalogs. I don't like them too much, but I got some good stuff. Especially because different people have different takes on how to do the Driders. Driders are one of my favorite fantasy creatures, and so I definitely go to Etsy for almost everything. These guys were fun though, because you actually had to build these ones, and these ones I was like the ONT Malison. I think were just super cool. I need to finish these guys, but that is for another stream when I finish my getting my stuff figured out. Hey Zach, welcome back. Not good with the freehand. You know what? That's fair. I'm not the best at freehanding either. Like, my proudest freehanding moment is this Crusher Claw. That's not really all that good, but it's the best I can manage. The Snake Man. Oh yeah, UNT are definitely some of my favorite minis. This guy was easily one of my favorite to buy. I just need to finish painting him up because I never finished him. But yeah, what I didn't realize, however, was they separated the male and the female by having males just having the basic heads, females have the cobra head and massive tits. Which surprised me, for sure. Well, I'm not the best at freehanding. He's like, this is supposed to be the serpent symbol, and I got it wrong because I was doing it from memory on stream. There's definitely a few more flurries in the snake body. But that's why I was looking for decals, because decals definitely help. Now where did this guy then? Okay, we're gonna risk it. Because what I want to do is I'm gonna snip off these panels, and then I'm going to turn them a little, and also shave them down a bit to give it more of a thin angle. Because what I want to do is I want to have them like this, but I want to have them down a bit more. Because I want to have this guy kind of leaning back a bit, so it looks like he's kind of guarding himself as he's trying to shoot. But first, I need to grab my kit for some clippers. All right, boys, moment of truth. Let's see if we're able to get this pulled off just okay enough. Well, shit. That... I have no idea where that flew off to. Oh boy. That's not good. That's very annoying. Okay. Yeah, that... It sounded like it flew off and hit the back panel somewhere, but I think I've lost that. I think I've lost that stabilizer wing. Well, that's really annoying. Lovely. Okay, well. Yeah. That piece is as good as gone, so that's annoying. Alright, we're definitely kit bashing this, because now we're... Alright. What I'm gonna do this time is just... There we go. I was able to keep hold of it this time. Okay. Ay. Okay, we're keeping one of them. We lost the other, but we kept one of them. One, two, three. Oh, there's only enough to make all 5 guys. Gosh dang it, so I can't scrounge another part. Okay. Well, I'm going to spend some time after stream looking around that back area to see if I can find that back fin, because that flew away. Then what I want to do is I'm going to cut away at this bottom corner here. Good to hear, Zach. Good to hear. Apologize for my profanity. I lost a piece. Probably forever. But we're just gonna make it work as best as we can, because that's all I can do right now. Yeah, no. All good, Dom. Gosh dang it, Zach. Give me back my fin. I need it. I need it to finish my backpack. But have a good night, Dom. Take care, man. I'll see you later. Thank you for stopping by, and I hope everything goes well on your end. But take care until I see you next, man. Just gonna... All right. Alright, so until I find the other fin and can shave it down, we're just gonna do a little bit of super glue. Just get this settled into place. Ah. Oh shoot, no. I broke the arm. Okay, well, drop a little bit the seam just to reinforce the arm and get that back into spot. But okay. I like the vision I had for getting the fin clipped off onto the side. Now I just need to find where the other one flew off to, and then I can finish the side. Well, I love Roosh, so it cancels out. All right. Let's see, where'd those pauldrons go? I think if I find the right kit, yeah, here we go. I'm going to steal some of the Aggressor shoulders for some of my Inceptors. Just to add a little bit of extra flavor. I don't know, Zach. We've got a couple of people here. Yeah, Roosh is still here too. Things are just slowing down. It's been a long day. It's a Monday especially, so I would say that for a lot of us, it's definitely been a long day. Oh, is that shoulder too bulky? That's hilarious. Okay. Throw that shoulder here then. Okay. So we got that one. I'll get a normal shoulder for his other arm. That's where normal shoulders. Where will I find the normal shoulders? Ha, found them. Okay. Yeah, I'm 25. Yeah, I act like an old man, but I'm a little young for some references. Never fear, for I is here. I'm trying to think what that would be from, because it seems familiar, but I don't quite. I'm drawing some blanks right now. Oh, it's from Hackers. Okay. The first Angelina Jolie movie. Dang. I'll have to take a look into that. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, I flew too close to the sun. I glued it too close. Oh, I'm gonna have to shave this shoulder down once the glue dries off. That's... Oh, man. Yeah, there's not a lot of room there, is there? Gosh dang it. The bad guy plague said it. Huh. Alright. Alright. Forgive me, but it is time to carve away at the inside of the shoulder to make sure it fits. Because I decided to be fancy on my Marine. Man, I really need that Chop Shop song from Robots right now. Because that really is the kind of place I'm running. Carve the outside of the arm shoulder. Yeah, that'd probably help too, huh? Just carefully go at it. Yeah, that does make sense, Roosh. That does make sense. All right. Test run. Okay, it's too wide, the base now. That's fair, though. And hey, mutual suffering. It's all part of being in the hobby. It's going to happen to me sooner or later, with how much I try to kit bash anyway, even by accident. I just go, oh, hey, let's try this. This seems fun. And I just goof something. Besides, it's all a learning experience. I had to learn this sometime. Just happened sooner than I expected. But sooner or later, this is definitely going to have to happen one of these days. I'm sometimes a little too overzealous and excited to try new things. All right. Shaving away at the shoulder. Let's try a fit test. Yeah, so what I'm learning is the Eradicator sets have very thick shoulders at the top, because this Intercessor shoulder is not fitting over well. So I gotta really shave this down. Just gonna... I mean, you always want to have too much rather than too little. So I am more than okay with learning this lesson by having to cut off the excess on the arms rather than having to go, oh, I need to put extra in. Because I learned the hard way, milliput is not your friend with changing poses. Yeah. I find that milliput is really good for bases, because that's what I use to get my guys on their bases. It works great for basing and just getting that figured out. But on this guy... No, it wasn't him, it was the other guy. On this guy, it was really difficult because the milliput took so long to set that it was just really hard to work on it. I don't know too much about green stuff. I got some liquid green stuff, but I haven't even taken it out of the packaging because I don't know how to go about using it. I've seen people use regular green stuff, but I wanted to give it a shot because I heard that it can be a little bit more rigid. Oh. I'm pretty sure if it wasn't for the super glue, I would have sliced my thumb open right there. Really? I haven't even heard of epoxy sculpt. That's... Huh. Interesting. I've heard good things about Tamiya. I did want to look into trying and getting a bit of Tamiya putty just so I can work with it a bit more. All right. Fit check on the shoulder. We are close. Ah, I got you. Okay. I'm going to carve a bit of the inside of the shoulder. Wrong body. Yeah, we're off the top of the shoulder. Boxy sculpt is the most expensive. Next is Tamiya, milliput, and green stuff are cheap. Green stuff has waste associated since where they touch you have to discard. Huh. Interesting. I had not heard about that before. But yeah, I'll have to remember that when I look into it, because I definitely want to try getting some stuff. Because I want to try figuring out what I like the most on feel and if moldability. So far, all I've used is milliput, and milliput has its uses, but I definitely want something a bit better for when I'm kit bashing actual bodies. But actually, with the two parts touching along that area where they touch, it activates so you don't. So if you don't trash that part, you get hard lumps in there. Ooh. Yeah, okay, that makes sense now. Yeah, that's what I've used. I've used milliput for gap filling, and it's definitely worked as intended. But it definitely requires some finesse. You have to use a lot. Well, I had to use a decent amount of water on a. I got some of the plastic glue applicators, so I just dip them in water and then use these to put around and try to smooth out the milliput more. Okay, let's try the shoulder once again. Gosh dang. Fighting me. But we're getting close. I just need to shave off a little bit more towards the bottom. Good to know, Roosh. I'll have to look into that. Because that is definitely something I'll... Because advice on how to use milliput would definitely help, because milliput's cheap and it's what I can get locally for a decent price. Okay. Bit more shaving. Let's see if... That'll work. Tight fit, but it'll work. We can call that step done. Now, that was absolutely the consequences of my own actions for being overzealous. But if it'll stop sticking my thumb... I like how it looks. So we are gonna go with that. And it'll be our secret of just how badly I screwed up on measuring out that arm. Besides that, I'm thinking having kind of similar to this angle of keeping the gun straight, but making sure that he's going back a bit. I think that'll do really good for the pose, so that's what I'm hoping for. Oh. Thank goodness I just realized, I didn't realize that I accidentally pushed off the little flap there. That's annoying, but nothing that can't be fixed. With a little bit of glue and a dream. Oh no, it's sticking to my finger. Stop that. Hi, sorry, Zach. Sorry, I got a little preoccupied with getting this guy's flap glued back on. But okay. So I need to go find where the other one of those clipped off and flew off to. But I think we'll call that good for now here. We got two guys for the most part done. I need to find some accessories to throw on this guy's waist. But I'm going to call it there just because my phone's almost dead and I also need to get some sleep. But thank you everybody so much for tuning in tonight. It was fun talking with you guys. And thank you again, especially to Roosh for all the tips on painting and modeling. I'm going to do some extra research now while I can. But take care, guys. And I hope you all have a good night. I'll see you whenever I see you next.